Yeah, we're going to start with a little recap. What do you guys remember from the last episode and up until now? What's kind of the situation?
Overall, the past few parts of this investigation brought us all the way from Philadelphia to...
it was Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Yep, and now we're in the boonies of central Pennsylvania, I believe, up in Appalachia. So the last episode, I don't believe we moved at all. We are still in this clearing in the woods that had one large structure and then 2 sheds. We spent the entire episode trying to get into a locked door, and Clay was messing around with some questionable chemicals.
Oh yeah.
And then right as we kind of decided, like, well, we collapsed this building and we didn't learn much. Maybe we should hit the road. At that point, we were attacked from the woods by a bunch of crazies wearing suits, wearing these weird gas mask suit type things. And we successfully dispatched all of them via double-barrel shotguns and revolvers.
That double-barrel shotgun did some work.
It sure did.
Yeah, it did.
But you are limited on ammunition.
I still have 8 rounds left. Nope. I have 7 rounds left, I believe.
No, I think you have 8.
Didn't I put a shotgun round into the handle of the door, or did I not do that?
You used your pistol for the handle of the door, I thought.
That's right. I have more ammo for the pistol than the shotgun.
Yep, you have 8 rounds. Let's say, you guys, after you get done shooting everybody, if you were to take a quick inventory of how many rounds you have left, it is still been, a day since you left the ranger station. Birdie, you have 26 rounds of 38 special still, and 8 rounds of buckshot. Sedesky, you have 14 rounds of your 30 cal, and 10 rounds of your 40 pistol, is what I have written down.
Yes.
So you guys are standing in the middle of this clearing, surrounded by trees, a decaying wooden fence and 3 buildings, 1 pile of rubble, and 2 buildings, rather. There are also 3 corpses on the ground. One of them with a really big hole in its chest, one of them missing a head. And one of them, I believe, had been shot a few times by Clay's handgun and bit the dust. What do you guys do?
What the hell was that?
Tate's gonna blow the smoke off his revolver, start reloading everything. I have absolutely no clue, Birdie.
Yeah, bunch of wackadoodles just coming out of the woods like that. Birdie is also breaching his shotgun and reloading it.
Looking around, do I see anything else in the tree line or hear anything else around us?
Give me a roll for it.
It's 11 under 60 for both. Critical success.
So, standing there with your pistol out, your adrenaline high, your partner next to you with his shotgun, and you said are you reloading yours actively right now?
Correct.
You survey the area. You look around, your ears are open, your eyes are wide. You hear the birds. You hear the wind blowing through the leaves. You see the sun turning pink off in the horizon. But you don't hear anything, and you don't see anything out of the norm. Except for one of the corpses still wheezing.
Birdie, this one's still alive a little.
All right, let's pop that helmet off, man. By the way, these are the same suits I saw in the wall locker in the building.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
highly protective?
damn certain. Same stuff.
So they were wearing masks, and this sickness or virus or whatever we want to call it still got to them?
Man, I don't know what happened to him, but I do know that this one here that's still wheezing, we got to pop that helmet off and see if we can't get a word out of him.
Tate will go and try to pull the mask off his face.
It's the one that's been shot with the pistol rounds. The one that should be closest to you. It's on the ground in the dirt and grass and dandelions. Its arms are spread out wide, its legs twisted.
So Tate will walk up and take a knee next to it, still with his pistol out and trained on it, towards the heartbeat area. With his left hand, he'll reach down and grab whatever's around the bottom of the mask, or face mask, or hood, whatever he's wearing.
There's a really prominent nose that comes out, almost beakish. The tube that comes from the back goes up into the ridge of that nose.
Does it look like it's secured around the back of the head?
Yeah, it's straps. So it's kind of like a full face mask, kind of what you'd wear today, with straps that go around the back. They're thick cloth straps.
Okay, then Tate's going to reach his hand around the back of the head and try to rip the straps up and around the head.
So when you get closer to it, you can see it's kind of like laying on its side. There's clearly, as you approach and hold your pistol up to its chest where its heart is, you can see there's like a tank behind it that tube goes up to. You reach your hand, you said you're reaching your hand behind its head?
Correct.
You reach your hand behind its head, and it feels like flesh, well, like beef jerky. And that strap that you can kind of see coming off of the front, it's cooked into or grown into this dried, dehydrated flesh. There's no hair, and it's rough.
Birdie, you see this? And Tate will kind of rotate the head.
It looks like it was burned into it.
Take out his Bowie knife and start cutting the straps closest to the mask to get the mask off.
As you're doing this, that wheezing sound accelerates a little bit and then stops abruptly.
Ah, fuck. And Tate will take his Bowie knife back, hold it up and above his head, and slam it down into the ground.
You still cut the things? Okay.
And then he slowly reaches up and goes to pull the mask to the side, holding his breath while he does that.
You get your fingers just a little bit underneath the mask, right in front of where the ear would be. You notice now that there are no ears, just little holes. You go to peel it up off the face, but it's still really firmly there. Maybe give a double take. Yeah, you cut those. It is not secured to the back of the head, and it's still not coming up.
Birdie, I think they're grown or glued into the face. Should I try to pull it off still?
Yeah, it looks more like it was fused together in some kind of an intense conflagration.
Can I see through any part of the mask?
No, the eye glass, the glass where the eyes are is like dark. It's like
It's like a one-way mirror.
Yeah, it's kind of like a one-way mirror. It's very reflective, just dirty.
Is it a one-way or is there a two-way that you can see through?
A one-way is like the interrogation
I was
room.
right then.
Yeah.
I'll put a marker so you can fix that in post.
I'll do it right now. Okay, what were you saying though? I'm sorry.
Tate will put his knee towards the top of the chest area and able to hold the body down, put his weight on that, and rip the mask off from the side. The same side where he cut the leather straps.
You do that, and it takes a good amount of force before the mask starts to pull off, and you hear the ripping of leather almost. And you keep going, and it's tough and it's hard, and you can see that you're pulling what flesh is left of this face off. There's obviously still some little amount here and there that's attached to the bone of the skull, but a lot of it is coming off with the mask. It's pretty grotesque. What's left underneath is a couple of teeth. The jawbone is kind of loose.
Birdie.
Yeah, you could probably stop with that now.
Yeah, this might be some acid they're doing or something.
I don't know, man. I mean, look at it. Like, to me, it looks like this fella right here, and I'm guessing the rest of them. Birdie's going to kind of walk around and check the other two, the other corpse that still has a head, and just see if the straps on the mask are fused to the back and side of the skull.
You find essentially an identical situation with this one. The body, this one's a little bit taller, arms are a little bit longer, that type of thing, but it is essentially an identical situation.
If you look at it, this doesn't look like acid. This looks like they went into a furnace, or a forge, a smelter of some kind. They got hit with intense heat and melted. I don't know how they're still up and about. That's the crazy part. They should be long dead from burns like this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Looking at that hole in that chest, though, is that average size, what you would expect with that shotgun, or?
I mean,
did it blow away a little extra?
Nah, that looks about right. I mean, I haven't put that many rounds through the chests of folks, but
I figured as a cavalry guy,
Well, the Henrys, that's what we use mostly, so, shotguns weren't as common. But nah, doesn't look like it did any more than it should have.
Maybe out the back is pretty wide, but without rolling a medical check or something like that.
Birdie is going to take a peek at one of the tanks that one of these folks has on him. He's gonna just look at the tank a little more.
Tate's gonna roll over the guy he's working on and check out the tank too.
Okay. So the one that you shot in the chest, rolling him over and looking at the tank, it's clearly damaged from some of the buckshot that went through the body into the tank.
Birdie is going to roll the body onto its side to expose the tank on the back, and he's just going to do a visual inspection. He's looking for markings, engravings, any kind of, are there distinct colorings on it that would tell him what kind of tank this is, because most tanks do have identifying markers on them to let you know what's inside of it. And those that don't you just assume they have the worst shit in it.
Yeah, that's a very safe thing to do.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a valve on these tanks?
Yes. There is a round handle right next to a gauge. The gauge is broken, and when you look at the actual tank itself, there's some green paint still on it, but a lot of it has been worn off over some period of time. You can make out the letter BR. You can make out the letter EN here and there, but that's it. And the same thing is true on yours, Sedesky. Yours just has less holes in it.
Birdie is going to do a closer inspection on the suits they're wearing. Not the mask, but the actual suits. He put a hole through it, so now he can pull out his knife and pull the suit away from the body in the nasty hole that he created.
You have to peel it off. It's pretty stuck on. It's thick, and there's a puffy, the texture of something that used to be a little puffy, but is compressed or degraded over time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like wall insulation type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So the most likely explanation is that these tanks were air. They had air tanks, right? And then you got these thick suits. Looking at them, they don't look to be waterproof, right? So much as, this is thick stuff, man. They're all burnt to shit, right?
What material does it appear to be?
Roll an education check.
Tate's education is a 70, and he rolled a 51.
Which is a pass.
Tate, I'm assuming at some point in your life you've worked with asbestos before.
Who hasn't in this day and age?
In this day and age, who hasn't, right? It feels like asbestos that's been sitting in a wall or something like that for a long time and just been really abused. You think it might be asbestos?
Birdie, this might be... You ever seen those old houses from the late 1800s. They got the curtains made of asbestos.
I've never seen a curtain made of asbestos, but I know that, that's that good fire retardant or like insulator.
I'm pretty sure this is what that is.
So these are like super
Fire suits.
Yeah, I had never seen no fire brigade wearing them.
Fire suits?
Like,
And the flash fires?
all right, so clearly these weren't. Well, I mean, you see the straps of their masks being melted into their heads. You'd think I don't want to speak ill of the dead. It looks like they had a major oversight though, because why no hood?
You thinking maybe they survived the fires and then the fires did this to them?
I mean, they're all. Let's just look at what we know. We know that these are some crispy critters. They're wearing some thick suits that definitely have that feel of, hey, protect me from fire. They're wearing tanks, which are most certainly, I mean, we don't know for certain, but I'd be willing to bet they're air tanks, right?
Well,
So you
let's
keep breathing in a fire.
just to be safe, I'm going to take this one. Tate will make sure the valve's closed and work on taking the tank off the body in front of him.
You're going to remove the tank?
Yeah, I figure we can bring it back with us.
Oh, shit, man. I mean, we ain't going back yet, though.
I don't see it as a problem. I mean,
that
if we can
tank's-
bring it back and somebody at that HQ, I don't really know them that well, but I'm sure that somebody over there can figure it out, you know?
All right, I hear you. How about this for a compromise? Because that tank's got to be, I bet you that tank's at least 20 pounds, maybe 30. How about we leave it here, and then when we come back down the path, we'll pick it up on our way back.
You sure we're coming this way?
I mean, I don't know. This has the feel of a one-way in, one-way out. Well, I guess there was the left and the fork in the road.
I'm going to grab it for now, and if it gets too much, we'll just leave it.
All right, fair enough. There's still another one here. Well, there's two more here, so.
First, Tate's going to look at the gauge. Is it reading a level in this tank?
It is not. It's broken. The glass is almost entirely broken out of the gauge. And the dial is like below zero.
Holding his face a little bit away, he's going to do a quick crack of the valve to see if he can hear any stuff come out.
You grab the valve, and you have to really give it some torque, but you get it to move. You move it one way, which you presume is open. Nothing happens. You move it the other way to close. Nothing happens.
Tate just kind of eats the tank. Never mind, Birdie. Ain't shit in it.
Yep.
Check the other two quick, though.
All right. Birdie will check the tank in front of him, and
Tate will run and check the other tank.
So, you guys look at the other two tanks. One of them has holes in it from the buckshot, but the gauge is the same thing. It's busted, it's broken, it clearly wouldn't function even if there was something in the tank. Adjusting the knob does nothing. Go on to the other one, it's the same. If you were to like give it a good rap with your knuckles, dum, 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 you could maybe make a safe assumption that they're empty.
hey, we've been spending a lot of time on these bodies. What the hell were they trying to hit us with? I assume they were trying to hit us.
I think the one that came after me was just coming at me with some claws.
Well, the first one I shot had a club of some kind. He's right over here. Birdie's going to go and try to find the weapon that this thing was running at him with.
And Tate will start inspecting the bodies as a whole. Pockets, feet, toes.
Birdie, the one you're looking at, a couple feet away from his right hand is maybe like a table leg or something like that. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. It's clearly been used and abused for some period of time, but it has that general shape of like a nice thick table leg. Clay, looking at yours, you don't see anything immediately that would have looked like a weapon, and you don't see claws.
I'm searching for them.
Oh,
Like
I see.
searching the bodies.
Okay, go ahead and, Yeah, roll a pat down. Sure, why not? We'll do a roll. I like dice.
It's a 23.
23, okay.
I don't know what my pat down check is, but
Rolling that. Okay, so you patted down your dead guy. Is this the one?
the one I revolvered.
The one you revolver that you peeled his face off?
Yes.
You go and feel up the pockets. One of the pockets has a hole in it. There's nothing inside of it. Another pocket had a wallet in it, a leather wallet. And you have to kind of struggle to get it out of the pocket. There's like dirt and muck and grime that's dried up inside of it. You pull it out, and opening it up is actually somewhat reminiscent of peeling the mask off. You have to really peel this wallet open. And when you look at the contents inside of it, all of them are faded, browned. There's not a lot to glean out of this.
Anything that looks like it could be identification.
Everything in this time was paper, and a lot of it was one-sided. So anything that's in this wallet is seemingly useless.
Any cash?
Maybe. Maybe it used to be. It's, like, destroyed.
Okay. Can I tell how old and faded this is?
Think of a relevant role that you could make. Make an argument to me.
We'll come back.
What was I doing?
You
I found the table leg.
Yep.
All right, so that's just a improvised club. You know, I don't think we're going to learn much more off these fellas here.
Hang on, I got a few things over here.
Oh, yeah? What you got? Birdie's going to make his way. Hey, Birdie is still like...
Check that body. Check those bodies quick. Check their pockets and stuff.
All right, I'll check their pockets. For visualization, Birdie isn't just head down in the sand looking. He is scanning the wood line, looking around, and then like, okay, kneeling down and patting a pocket, and then looking back up. Like he does not want to get caught off guard.
Okay.
Would you like a roll?
You don't need to. I'll kind of carry his role onto it since he got a crit success. I'll just say, you don't see anything. You feel confident that you're cleared.
Yeah. This one's clear. This one over here is clear too, man.
I found a wallet over here.
Oh, you're searching the bodies?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were like scanning the perimeter.
I was scanning the perimeter, but instead of like, okay, now I'm gonna like set my gun down and kneel down and keep my face 6 inches from this body and really do a close inspection, it's more like, you know, take a knee, look at the surroundings, pat down some shit, look at the surroundings, pat down some more, look at the surroundings. You know, like Birdie does not want to get surprised.
DuBois, your character, named Birdie Johnson, feels up the pockets of the one that you blew the head off of. That's by the corner of the bunkhouse. One of the pockets you feel up, and it feels like there's something kind of big and heavy in there. You reach in, pull it out, and there's a rock, just like a rock. Feel the rest of them up. Not a whole lot. It's this thick coat with this tube up in the head, or where the head used to be. The left pocket, you pat it down. You don't feel anything, but you reach in and you pull out dog tags. Old, worn-out dog tags.
Looks like we got a veteran over here.
Those the stamp dog tags?
Yes, sir. Looking at it right now.
What's it say on it?
So we got ourselves a Dorian Cooper here.
We haven't heard that name, have we?
I sure have.
Me neither.
Yeah. Poor soul.
The dog tag is a round brass coin, essentially, with a hole punched through it. It says Dorian Cooper, Private, 7th Infantry, USA. B Company.
Well, all right, Dorian. Looks like you finally bought it. R.I.P. I think we're done here.
Well, you wanted to get a rough idea of how old it was?
Yeah, or spot anything hidden in this wallet.
Roll the archaeology check.
12 over 5.
You're trying to pull some of the paper out, and a lot of it's fused into the wallet or melted. Clearly, this thing has been through the elements, and this suit is not clean by any means. It's certainly seen its fair share of the elements. So too have the contents inside. It's pretty old, but you're not sure how old.
Birdie, I'm going to bring this back with us. Maybe Peggy or Ricardo can make something of it.
That wallet?
Yeah, and the old burnt remnants in it.
Just keep it all in the wallet, stuff it in your pack. Yeah, they can dig through it and see if they can't glean
I'm
something.
one step ahead of you.
Good man.
And how about the last body?
He checked it already?
Oh, all of them are checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was nothing in the third one worth your time.
Yeah, we pretty much did what we could here. I think it's time. Actually, we're looking at the sun. It's about to set. We got options here. The way I see it, we got two. We can hole up in this bunkhouse, right? That has a door and a lock and stuff in there.
Seems like our best option, to be honest.
It's either that or we head out into the path at night. And yeah, I think we stay here for the night.
I'm not sleeping out there tonight. Not after this.
All right, let's get in here and get ourselves a bit of fortification.
You still got that axe in your pack?
I got a hatchet, yeah.
Mind if I use it real quick?
Well, go on, it's right there.
Tate will go and grab the hatchet. Birdie, I'm going to get a couple of logs down real quick.
Well, you ain't going alone.
I'm just going to the edge of this forest here.
I know, I'm going with you.
Well, you can see me, so.
Yeah, I'm going with you anyway. You know, I can help you carry some wood back, too. Let's figure they came up real quick on us. You know what I mean?
Roll a stealth check if you're trying to hide something. And then you're going to roll a contested spot hidden.
Got it. I rolled a 62.
Is that a pass or a fail for you?
Under 70 for spot hidden.
Okay. For the listening audience, Sedesky rolled a stealth check, which was contested by DuBois and his character, Birdie Johnson. Sedesky sent me a photo. I'm looking at it. I see it. Okay.
Birdie doesn't notice anything. Tate rolls a 1 under 60.
Okay, go ahead and describe what you're doing.
Well, no, he's just going to get wood. There's just things going on with him he doesn't want to show. So, Tate's like trying to hide the fact that he's visibly shaking. Hands, arms, bodies
I see.
are all shaking, but he's trying to hide the fact and walk away so he doesn't see it. So that's what he's trying to hide right now, which he does.
Clay goes off into the woods and he gathers
The edge of the woods.
The very
Just,
edge.
Starts cutting up a tree about 5-6 inches thick.
And you don't notice anything odd. He just does that and comes back with some wood.
Sweet. Birdie's there, keeping an eye out to protect Clay and help him bring back wood.
And you both still have your firearms drawn or no?
Birdie has his shotgun slung and his pistol out.
Tate's pistol is holstered, and he doesn't even have his rifle on him right now.
Okay, it's like in the bunk. Okay. As you are coming back with your wood, the sun is now starting to really set. It is quite late, becoming nighttime. Describe to me, you said you wanted to kind of get set up for the night. What do you guys do?
Well, was there any furnace or anything inside the building, or was it just a lamp?
There was a very, very small little, you could put a couple split logs in it with just a tiny little chimney. Small little thing just to heat up that small little space.
Yep, that's what I was.
Was there a flat top on it for a spot of tea?
No.
Okay.
Well, probably. I mean, it's like a cast iron box, you could put a kettle on top and it would get warm. Or it'd get hot, yeah.
All right. Well, we can stay warm with that. We should keep that going.
I think that's the plan. I'll probably get a little more wood for the night, but
I mean,
I might
thought I
start
saw
something.
some wood in there already.
I might start something out here, too, just to help light our surroundings,
I mean, we could, but that would also behave kind of like a beacon, too.
If you're worried about it, we won't. Just figure it'd be a little nice in this weather.
My thought is we keep the fire low inside. I'd say I would vote against a fire outside. I'd say let's try to stay under wraps.
If you're thinking it's a bad idea, we don't need to do it.
All right. Alternate watches. Get some shut-eye. Maybe get a little grub, and then wait for the sun to rise.
I'm going to go look for something to sit on.
There's bunks in here.
Yeah, there's two.
Sit on outside.
Oh, you're going to keep watch outside?
I just want something to sit on outside for now.
Oh.
Like a log. A little stool. A piece of broken shit from the main building.
Sure. There's a log that has yet to be split that you roll over next to the door. You sit on that.
And Tate will light a cigarette. Start smoking.
What's Johnson doing?
Birdie is inside the shack. Hey, you want to take first watch?
I always got first watch, Birdie.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna go ahead and tuck in. All right.
I'll be out here for a little while and probably come in if it gets cold.
All right. Shotgun's right here if you need it.
I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Birdie's gonna lean the shotgun on the inside of the hut, right next to the door.
Okay. It is now dark out. The sun has officially gone down over the horizon, and there is maybe the tiniest little bit of light showing out through the forest, but you can see the stars opposite.
Birdie would have started a fire in the little small furnace with some sticks and little wood pieces. But it's not aggressive. He's not trying to sweat the place out.
Okay. So just like some kindling and a couple logs.
Correct.
Or a couple split pieces.
Tate's going to sit outside for a while. He will grab his rifle and kind of lay it across his lap. Smoke a few smokes and do his watch.
Both of you should be able to handle violence at this point. I think you're a combat veteran, and you have a pretty good history with... Well, you're also a combat veteran.
Correct.
So both of you should be able to deal with combat and not take sanity damage every single time unless something really egregious happens. However, this is highly unusual. Some weird stuff is involved here. You pulled the face of somebody off. Clay, go ahead and roll a sanity check for me, since you peeled someone's face off earlier. Johnson, you're okay.
So I rolled 79 over 75 on my sanity check.
79 is a fail.
That is a standard fail.
You take 3 points of sanity damage. Okay, so you're taking your first watch.
Yep. Should I roll?
Well, how long is the first watch? Is that 4 hours?
5.
5 hours? So you're sitting there, smoking your cigarette, and it starts to get dark. For a while, you can see through the forest as it becomes like a dark pink into a just dark. Your visibility over the next hour very obviously degrades. Where once you could see into the green, you now only see darkness. Your face is illuminated by the cigarette that you smoke, and a little bit of light is let into the bunkhouse behind you from the furnace burning. But after some period of time, you are in almost pitch blackness. Go ahead and roll a power check for me. Or rather, another sanity check. So you took 3 points of sanity damage. You should have a 72 sanity now.
Correct. 52 under 70.
An owl hoots off in the distance. Hoo, 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 hoo. You hear crickets start to chirp. And this real sleepiness starts to come over you, but you shake it off. And your watch is done.
When Tate goes to get Birdie, he's going to check the back of his head. Just pat it. Does it feel normal?
Yes.
He's a little freaked out with the leather fused into the skulls. You know, he stayed outside for the whole watch. He's going to walk in the door and tap Birdie. Hey, Birdie.
Yeah.
Get up, man. You got to see what's going on.
Is there something going on?
Yeah, your watch.
Oh, man. Words are important, man. You're failing at them right now.
It's a little tired, all right?
Fair enough. Well, hey, go ahead and get some shut-eye. I got this.
And Tate will go sleep.
Birdie's going to put a couple more split logs into the furnace.
Okay.
Yeah, Tate would have been tending to the furnace if it was about to go out, so.
And Birdie's going to take up the same watch on the log. Like literally against the
Yes.
outside of the building right next to the door.
Right next to the door.
Perfect. Birdie's not going to roll a cigarette. Birdie's going to take some of his shredded up tobacco and wad it into a ball and chew on it a little bit before tucking it into his lip.
You do notice 15 cigarette butts and an empty pack of smokes next to the stool.
Birdie Johnson gets outside and is greeted by the orchestra of a forested night. You can make out a waning gibbous moon up in the sky. And you sit there and you chew your tobacco or suck on it, whatever. Not a lot happens. A breeze comes through the forest. You notice one of the birch trees in the distance shakes a little bit harder than the others. Hey, go ahead and roll a power check for me as well. Or a sanity check, I'm sorry.
96 over 50. That's a fail.
Okay. Sedesky, can I have you leave the room? Birdie Johnson is sitting there in the dark on the log next to the door of the bunkhouse. An hour, 2, maybe 2.5 passes. Spit some of your tobacco out. Look around. And as I'd said, you notice a big gust of wind kind of come through the trees. One of the birch trees that's just visible from the light emanating from the bunkhouse illuminates a birch tree. And you see that move just more than the others. And you're looking at it. And this odd feeling comes over you as you focus on this tree. And suddenly you're in the forest. It's daytime, or at least it seems like it might be, since it's bright, but it's foggy in such a way that you can see but not far. You look around you and there's no clearing, there's no cabin or bunkhouse or corpses on the ground. You're just in the woods. And this birch tree waves and it stops and it's still. And you're standing there staring at it. Behind it, you can see what looks to be a cabin. A very stereotypical looking log cabin. A chimney reaches up, smoke pours out of it. It's maybe 100 yards away.
Birdie's gonna make his way towards the cabin.
You walk toward the birch tree, and around it, you find a small path. It's well tread. You walk along it toward this cabin. You walk for a while. Feels like you're walking for actually maybe a long time, longer than it ought to take, but eventually you do get to it. You're surrounded by all variety of trees. You're not an expert, but nothing sticks out to you until you get toward the cabin, and it's surrounded now by birch trees, almost in a perfect circle. You see in the cabin 2 windows, and they sit open on either side of a brown door. Smoke rises from the chimney, and you notice movement through one of the windows. You get closer, and you notice little decorations scattered around in the grass and flowers. A pile of rocks, painted white. There's a doll without hair, and it sits in front of an empty chessboard. Scattered tubes from a wind chime are stuck in the dirt. Getting closer to the cabin, you can hear someone within, as the smell of what you imagine is soup fills your nose. You get up to this log cabin, you look inside the window. You see a tall woman in front of a stove, and she stirs a large pot. She turns away from the pot toward the counter and begins cutting mushrooms with a black knife. As she turns, you see twigs and leaves tied into her hair. The inside of the cabin, what you can see, looks well lived in. A large pair of antlers hold a well-worn Ulster coat. There's 12 identical-looking leather-bound books sitting on a shelf above a desk. And on the desk you see another book, which looks to be a journal on an empty page. The woman speaks to you as she pours soup into a bowl. You're now sitting across a table from her. The old woman dips a ladle into the pot of soup. Before you is a bowl. In front of her is also a bowl. Both of them are now full of soup.
Please, have some of my soup. The rest of it. Then mayhaps we can find answers for you.
Soup sounds lovely, thank you.
What brings someone of your profession to these obscure parts?
We're looking for I guess you'd call him an associate of ours.
Oh, I apologize. My name's is Margaret. Those I'm comfortable with may call me Marge. An associate. Tell me about him.
Yeah, it's a journalist. Goes by the name of Creedmoor. And he came out here looking for something, and he never came back, and we're worried about him. So we're out here trying to find him.
What about you? What are you looking for outside of this forest?
I guess you'd say I'm looking for the truth. The deeper meaning of things. Because right now the world don't make a whole lot of sense.
She dips a large wooden spoon into her soup and takes a big sip of it.
Birdie's going to try the soup.
You put your spoon into it and bring it up to your mouth. Just as she says,
I've been here a very long time. Once upon, I had loved the city and the people. And those days are long behind. I prefer sound of leaves dancing to the music of the wind. I might not travel so often as before, but at times I do make voyages away from my abode. I think you'll find what you're looking for.
I sure hope so. Funny, I don't really recall exactly why I came here. Why I'm here right now.
Are you much of a reader?
I used to read the good book until it didn't feel so good anymore.
Well, Birdie, you and your partner might find this interesting.
She reaches into the breast pocket of her coat, hands you a folded piece of paper. You set down your spoon to grab it from her. She pushes her chair back and gets up, puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of gestures for you up. And she closes the door behind you as you both leave. You have a moment to ask her a question.
Margaret? Or may I be so bold as to call you Marge?
You may.
Marge, I'd love to hear your thoughts on crows.
A man called Birdie asks me about the crows. They aren't what they seem, the crows. Keep an eye on them.
You blink your eyes a few times, and a thin mist creeps around your feet. You blink a few more times, and you look around. The grass and the birch trees around you are gone, and there is no cabin. There are no decorations in the grass, and you look up and see a waning gibbous moon. And again you hear the crickets and the owls. And what just transpired begins to fade like the memory of a dream. But looking down, you see in your hands a folded piece of paper. And with that, we will end this episode.
Very nice.
Hey everybody, Cody coming at you with a number one, big thank you, and number two, small updates. Apologies if you hear my dear cat Chamberlain meowing in the background, but yeah, big thanks to everybody who's listened. We got some really nice feedback in the Discord. Speaking of which, if you're listening to the show and you're liking the show, please do us a huge favor. Like, share, follow, rate 5 stars, all that jazz. Whatever service you're using, if you have nerdy friends who you think might be into this type of thing, hit them up, say, hey, there's this show, it's called Suffer Not, and like, it's pretty awesome, or something, or whatever. Tell them it's terrible, whatever you think, however you feel, yeah. Small update on Patreon content. I've been really busy. I know Sedesky's been really busy. Him and I are both trying to tackle editing and stuff like that. And so slight delay on that. However, the merch store is up and available and live. So if you like some of the awesome art that we have for our show, and some of the designs and such and whatnot, go ahead and grab a shirt or a coffee mug or something like that. I'd really appreciate it. And we did order a bunch of samples, so we know it's good stuff. It's great stuff. Anyway, yeah, if anybody's got theories, what's going on? Who's Marge? Who are these dudes in suits in the woods? What happened to Creedmoor? What's up with the Rangers? Hop on over to the Discord and let us know what you think. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.